join me in welcoming on stage Amitabh Nag, CEO, Digital India, Bhashini Division, Government of India, to deliver the keynote address. Please welcome him with a round of applause.
Thank you, Microsoft, Yota, and APAC Media for having me here. I just want to touch upon today, since we are talking about infrastructure, and Bhashini has built up a language digital public infrastructure, which would be a kind of example for others. And in one of the articles, World Economic Forum wrote that perhaps this is one of the projects where world can learn from India. So it's a project by which we have been able to build AI for inclusivity. So when we are looking at AI for inclusivity, fundamentally we are talking about the divides going away. So what are the divides which we have? We have digital divide, we have literacy divide, and then we have language divide. These are the three divides on which our society is fragmented for inclusivity. So, what Bhashini did was that it obviously built AI models for transcending the language barrier. So we have approximately 350 plus models covering 36 odd languages on text and 22 odd languages on speech. And obviously there are multiple use cases built upon that, but that's a language DPI which was built upon. And it's an example of how AI can be used for inclusivity. With voice being there as a medium, you are able to transact to the digital systems. So you can ask and work with digital systems through voice, which becomes a very easy medium to actually work on digital inclusivity, as well as include the people who are on the other side of the literacy divide. So because everybody speaks the voice, accepting the challenges which we have, which people might have. The second thing which we have been working upon, and India has done very successfully with the DPI project as Bhashini, has been the democratization of AI. We build the AI models, we open sourced it. We build the data set, we open sourced it. We have democratized the performance, we have democratized the benchmarks which are there, and it is all available in open. So what does it mean is that anyone can actually pick it up. And if you consider the language domain today, I don't think there is anyone who wouldn't have used Bhashini's data set for training the models, who wouldn't have built the models beyond Bhashini's models. So acknowledgement is something different, but this is the basic bare minimum fact. And we continue to democratize this so that research institutes and others, industries get benefit out of it. There is a constant investment in that area which can be globally replicable so that, the AI technology is democratized. The other thing which we had done, and this is one of the basic things which is required, is to ensure that the skill building happens when you take such nationwide projects. When we build Bhashini, we build it out of 70 odd research institutes which were spread across the country. Those 70 research institutes had, had the factor of language, because if you're looking at Manipuri, you would perhaps look at NIT Manipur as the base of it, because that is where the Manipuri language, that is the region where Manipuri language is spoken, and the models can be trained and made workable. So that's a nationwide building skills which had happened, and we had 70 engineering colleges associated with it, which had data sets, AI models, and other things to be done. So back in 2021, when the artificial general intelligence was still in the lab, we conceived this project to actually associate with all the colleges across the country, and had a nationwide skill building programs. The other thing which we had done, obviously, to look at AI has been an ever-improving activity, and we had focused on use cases which are narrow but have big impact. We focused on cases which are related to crossing the digital divide, crossing the literacy divide, and is improving productivity so that we are in a position to actually help people to take it across. To give you some examples, we focused on, farmer advisories being in local language. So mobile app or chatbots, you are speaking in your own language, getting the answer in your own language, and the impact of those have been huge. For example, we had the PM Kisan Samman Nidhi chatbot which was built up, and the chatbot was basically answering questions on the challenges which are there for PM Kisan Samman Nidhi installments to be received by the farmers, and the last World Bank report says that this has done about 8.2 million, solved 8.2 million queries till now since its inception. So, there is a narrow use case based focus which is there, the zero FIRs, the case diary translations, the RBI's zero friction platform for Kisan credit loans, which are based on land parcels, and land parcels are on vernacular language. They are pulled in and transliterated using Bhashini APIs. Voice-based payment, which was done by NPCI to ensure that people who are coming from villages can actually transfer money at the end of the day through a voice journey without, with just, putting in PIN numbers out there. Those are the narrow, impactful use cases which we worked upon. Obviously, there are general use cases like website translation, which actually is a major product which has been used by us, and for, democratizing the information which is there in government websites. And there the entire solution has been customized to the requirements of India, which says that, and there are different requirements which comes in. First Hindi, then the rest of it. There are certain current situations where websites have been translated to multiple languages already, so you skip that and use that. Multiple things which have been done in those narrow use cases which are there, which can create a big impact. The other thing which we had done was also to look at how do we move from lab to market very fast. Generally, the challenge with this kind of technology is that we perhaps are afraid to take it to market because of the inherent scope of improvement which this has. Is it fully accurate? Is it fully workable? Is it fully there, there to be in the market? But, with specific customer relationships and narrow use cases, we have been able to actually take the technology to the market. Lab to technology GTM, which is go to market, has been reduced significantly, and that is one of the biggest achievements I would feel we have, because our research labs do a lot of good work which needs to come out in the market, and somebody has to take a risk of saying that, yes, I will stand by my research labs to actually bring this to the market, and we have successfully done that. The other thing which we obviously is a part of customer relationship is to ensure that when you are trying to deploy something, you are very sensitive to the feedback and the improvement requirements which the customer is talking about. And we have user-centric feedback loops which we have constantly looked at. There is an advisory team which constantly works with the customer to see what is the problem which is there or issues which are there, and we go back to the situation of training the models. So for example, we deployed the Kisan advisory system in a state. The state came back and complained that, there are agriculture terms which are not being spoken properly or not being understood properly by the model. And that's not a problem of the model, because the model hasn't seen the agriculture terms, because a model ultimately is a child who has to see all of it, who has to learn all of it. So we are now embarked on the exercise where we are involved agriculture universities, students, about 10,000 of them, who would do agri-dan, means they will basically speak the chunk for, speak the chunk into the system, which will be recorded and will get validated by others, and each person can act as a contributor and a validator. A novel way of doing the crowdsourcing mechanism to improve models and capture dialects which are there in the state. So it covers the entire state, so it will cover the rest of the activity. Looking at simply going out and collecting data sets and then saying that, oh, I have collected this much of data sets. We are looking at success-based data collection. That means a very targeted data collection which actually leads to benefit to everyone. It becomes a DPI all across. The targeted data collection also means that we are in a situation where we are enriching this as a domain. So we had a program, for example, National E-Governance program, where Bhashini got an award also. So we were basically transcribing the event and translating it and giving it to the people so that they point out the mistakes, and we enrich the entire model system like that. So it is a question of deployment-centric data collection so that we are in a position to actually improve the things, and we search for the opportunity for improvement rather than trying to say that we are perfect, or we put it up and say that use it at your own risk and I am not responsible for it, I have developed something. Those are the two things which we are going off. We are constantly searching for opportunities for improvement, and that's going to be the way if we have to develop artificial intelligence and deploy it at scale. The opportunities of improvement is the way to go forward rather than saying that I will bring something, it will be perfect, because if you are building something and you're calling it perfect, your competitor will do something better by collecting that 1 TB of data extra and then training the model, right? That's how the AI is going to go about. India in the language domain is still deficient of data. It only has, India is not digitized from the perspective of language or verbal language in terms of whatever is there in this particular country. We almost operate at max 20% of what should be there in the digital system. English is about 57% of digital data today available in the world, and we perhaps would be on a single digit even on the most popular language. So a lot of work has to be done for building this data, and that's how the initiatives like AI Coach comes in, where we are encouraging people to actually build the data sets and put it out in open, which is available to the researchers and public in general, to use it and build use cases. And once we deploy use cases, we come to edge cases. Once we have solved edge cases, we are perhaps making it all better. So all the best for this conference. When you're looking at building up infrastructure and looking at it, we must work on the basics, which is understand that we need to get digital. So there is no opportunity which should be actually left out to collect data. So that means you should be transcribing this session, you should be translating this session also, and sending it out in open and saying that, give me the data, correct this, give me the data, right? That's how it has to happen, because it is then only we are able to seek opportunity for improvement. So we are deficient. We should encourage all the people to actually work on systems which will collect and correct the data, and baton is with everyone. It is not my job or it is not your job, it is everyone's job to ensure that we build a digital infrastructure of the company by making data as public good. So digitize, digitize, and digitize is the mantra to go forward. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. I now request Mr. Bhaskar Basu to kindly felicitate Mr. Amitabh Nag with a token of gratitude. Please give a big round of applause to sir. Thank you, sir.